Interesting.
Oh. The two factors would be, why are you moving to London? And can you afford what you're saying you can afford?
It's easier to sell a penthouse with a blue sky than on a rainy day.
What tips do you have for negotiating the best price when buying property?
I can't give away trade secrets.
Oh my God. I need lawyer, I need, just the private school for my kid, I need this. I would say it's like concierge service.
Everyone should go on a bus tour.
Double deck.
Double deck, a London bus tour.
Yes,
Learn as much as you can.
Hello everyone, welcome to our special New Year episode on the DEVITA channel. Here we're in the Chelsea area in beloved Kings Road Street.
We'll take a look back on London's 2024 real estate luxury market and see what is coming in 2025.
And we will explain why Devita Real Estate Agency is the perfect partner to achieve your dream real estate goals. And today's filming is taking place in Polyform store on Kings Road.
And also we have interactive part, and most importantly, I would like to introduce you to amazing guests, Eric and Adam. So they expertise on real estate market more than 15 to 25 years. Please tell us a few words about yourself.
Thank you for having me here today. I've done it for like 15 years already, selling prime, super prime, central London, new homes, but also large houses in Belgravia. So my expertise is really on central London, and I'm happy to be here today to answer your questions.
We're happy to have you, Eric.
Thank you.
And what about you, Adam?
Adam Dockley. I've been in the property industry for over 25 years. Started out life selling country houses out in Hertfordshire, then moved into the East End of London and the city. Watched Canary Wharf and those areas grow, so I know a lot about regeneration, investment, that sort of stuff, and then moved my way through the city into Prime Central. So I've been very lucky to deal with a lot of very different types of clients and get an understanding of lots of different markets, and still quite involved in the country house market. Lots of my clients that have bought in London obviously now want to move out, but they still want a place here. So I advise them on where it's good to live and how they can get back into town, and airports and what have you. So good schools, that sort of stuff. So yeah, lots of different ideas that I can help with.
Yeah, so let's make an assumption about 2024 and some prediction for the coming 2025.
So 2024 has been an interesting year. Yeah, ups and downs, and but a steady flow in terms of value. I think that they've said that it's about 3% across the board, which is an interesting number, and I think that will probably be the same next year. But I think there's going to be more activity next year.
We all think so and hope so.
Lots of more people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You getting lots more calls?
We do get lots of calls, and people do try to move back in London, yes. And some people do leave, but they still want to, keep second home here.
Yeah.
I think the year, what happened really was the uncertainty. But now we have a new government in the UK, we got a new president in America.
Right.
Now
new rules, new era,
and
new
we're
times.
still here. So
things are more in place, I would
Correct.
say,
Yes.
instead of being up
There's
in
a
air
better
and vague.
investor sentiment now for 2025.
And I truly believe that now it's the right time to buy, because the price is really very negotiable. It's the
Time
best
to buy was yesterday, and the second best time is today.
If you ask us, it's always the best time to
It's
buy.
always the best time. You just have to buy now.
But it's what feels right for you.
Exactly.
And if you come and you feel that this city has got something for you and it's got something about it, there's always going to be growth here.
Absolutely.
We're a world capital.
There's education that will never
We're in the right
fade out.
country.
And
Legal system.
Everybody wants to study here. It's a safe investment, I would
Travel.
say.
You can travel anywhere in the world from
Exactly.
here. So, it is a safe investment. I think Prime and Central London will always hold
Always
a value
keep
because
the
there's a
value.
finite amount of space here. We're 9+ million people in a very small area. And as it grows, then pockets of areas start to develop, and that's when you start to see other opportunities.
I was saying mostly central London, like mostly Mayfair. It's a market on its own.
Exactly.
So we're not really affected with any global issues. We always said that even if there is a financial crisis, everyone is moving to Dubai or whatsoever. The thing is, in central London, the price will either stabilize or always go up.
Yeah,
so it's
sure.
always been
Just
a
stable.
safe investment for everyone. Even this non-domicile things happening now, you have to understand that some people are leaving, but some people are still coming. So it's...
I mean, the leaving people are due to obviously tax and reasons that they're leaving, right? Because if they buy and they gain property, they have to pay extra amount.
As we say, we're all different.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Everyone
you
has
still have
individual
very-
case.
Yeah, but you still very high net worth individual,
Yes.
mostly this year from America, who's been moving to London.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Speaking of the Americans and foreigners, we do have some postcards from our foreign investors and our buyers, basically, you know, reviews. And we print them out some questions for you guys. So I'm going to randomly pick any. I will pick the question. Are you
Yes.
ready?
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Right. Actually, speaking of the regeneration, and you've been in both industries, so I will ask you this question. Is it better to buy a new build or an older property in London?
interesting one, right?
See what I always get that because
Oh,
I've
be
done new
careful what I
builds.
say.
And
Yeah, I think it's a question number one, since London, as we
done it for a
discussed,
long
keeps
time,
value in the
so-
central area.
In central London, it's a really difficult question. I think that traditionally for London, those sort of Georgian, Victorian houses will always hold their value.
Absolutely.
But what we're seeing now as well is developers designing their buildings to copy that, emulate that, and actually redeveloping some of those. So when you say new build, and we're talking about sort of off the ground new build.
Well, you spoke about Canary Wharf
Yeah.
and, you know, the city, it's all regeneration, right?
Yeah.
We've got the 9 Elms not far from here.
Yeah.
They're all big regeneration schemes that are also part of our luxury real estate, right? Prime, I would say. So if you, I would say, have a buyer, would you recommend them to invest within the new property
It has
or
to be
a
off
second-hand?
plan.
But I
If you
think
want
it's a
as
very
an
private
investment.
question, you know, just it depends on
it's a-
taste
It
of the...
depends on the
it's a
client,
big-
we know
It
that,
totally
but
depends on the client.
that's
but
your
I think
personal
that-
opinion.
It depends if you're a end user or if you're an investor. If you're an investor, we're talking about new homes. then
Okay,
you
let's
have to
talk
look-
for the both part, you know, just for
You have
example,
to
we're
look at
talking about
where-
with
Where
first.
are the ins and gains in a new build, and where are the gains?
Well,
and
people,
ins
when they
into the
invest,
second-hand
usually new build
market?
as an investment, you always have to look at least 12, 18 months before completion, because we're talking about like just a deposit down, and then you have
You
to
got
look
30
at...
days to exchange.
Then you
and
wait for
then
the price
complete.
growth.
On the flip side of that, if the developer has a number of units that are built and ready to go and they're sitting on their balance sheet, they've got more opportunity.
But that's completed stock. Yeah, so you get a good discount as well.
So you got two ends of it. So
It's-
either
See
getting
what
at
I
the
mean?
You
beginning
have to
or
come
getting at the
early or
end.
right at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the
I
that's the key.
recommend always, if you are, you know, buying as a second home, it's better to buy a new build because, you know, you've got the people who will look after it. It doesn't need a maintenance.
You've got
warranties, etc. So
Yeah, but
if
the bills-
it's something for you
but
to pay.
It's location as well. You see, we have clients sometimes, you have clients as well sometimes, who basically they only want to buy in Mayfair. Even if sometimes financially as an investment, I don't see really yet the value unless it's going to be in 5-10
the
years from
prices
now.
won't
The
destroy,
prices are high, you know, just,
properties, you know.
I
But
think
it's
it's everyone's
location.
Yeah,
choice,
location
to be honest,
and-
because some people they just don't like old buildings because so
exactly.
many troubles, even if it's
But
completely
this is
rebuilt.
all about the vibe, you know, just if we're talking about the Victorian style and old building, and I would say 50-50%, you know, just our clients, you know, just they prefer like big family, you know, 3 kids, you know, just I want to have, you know, just high ceilings, I want to have a very nice view, and like this is traditional, this is Great Britain, you know, just I want to be establishment, you know, just have very cool
Yeah,
apartment.
that-
So,
you
but
get the
another side,
heritage.
for example, if we're talking about the young generation, so they prefer something that's like new builds.
Because they want security, they want swimming pool, they want the gym, they want all the facility. Hence why lately what is very popular is branded residence.
Yeah.
So branded residence is the next big thing because people want to move in, they buy new homes, but they want it branded Mandarin Oriental or Dorchester, and so on and so on. And that's what is happening in Dubai, but mostly now also in London. It's they want not just buying new homes; they want lifestyle.
The lifestyle, yeah. This is why it's good when it's a second home, because you come and you have a bit of a hotel service. You get the laundry done even, which is great. And when you're on the go always, it's very convenient. So, but it's different, right? You got the families, you got the single people that wants easy and
depends on your lifestyle for sure.
Yeah. Right, we can move on to the
next
next
question.
question.
Yes. Next question from your side.
That's
I
my
think
bag.
this is your bag.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, guys. I would still prefer Victorian houses because I'm a foreigner in London.
Yes, it's London.
Yes, and when you think about it, yes, there is a service and many other features which residential branded properties provide, but still when you live in central London, it's completely different vibe when you live in old Victorian, Gregorian style house.
One thing else that I would mention as well.
Country homes.
Yeah, exactly.
For the kids, yeah.
Well, the other thing is you've got to think about the outgoings as well of the building. So obviously with an older building, you've got maybe a bit more outgoings in terms of the upkeep. But also what we're seeing now is a lot of the service charges are going up quite exponentially, which obviously has an effect on your investment. So it's finding that balance, and that's what we are here to do, and that's what we're good at, is being able to understand the value of a development and how the value will increase in terms of the capital and the rent against the service charge or any maintenance costs on a building that may be a little bit older. So yeah, it totally depends on the building.
Agree.
You know your stuff.
So,
okay, let's move to the next
question. Yeah.
Let's go.
What tips do you have for negotiating the best price when buying property?
I can't give away trade secrets.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. Do your research. Understand what it is you're negotiating, and understand the person that you're negotiating with. Understand the seller's position. Who are they? What are they about? Why have they owned the property? If it's emotional, it's going to be a lot harder to negotiate against than it is if it's an investment.
But I think it also is about pick the right agent. Someone really is going to represent you, understand you, and know the area, and will do everything to get you the best price.
Yes, for sure. It's like, I would say 50% of the best deals, just it depends on your agent. Correct. So because it represents your interests, just time to time, we are trying our best because we're in the same field of the business. So, and this is our reputation. So that's why we take care about this, and we are trying our best option for our clients.
I would say always keep a good connection between the seller, the vendor, and then know your clients really.
When you're an agent, you're not just an agent, you're selling a lifestyle, right? So when I say we're agents, we're more advisors. Advisors because we are finding the property, but we're also finding them a mortgage lender, but we're also maybe finding them an architect, an interior designer.
Yes. You can't even imagine after when we close the deal, so what's happened? Okay, I need lawyer, I need, just the private school for my kid, I need this. I would say it's like concierge service.
Well, this is what we are about, right? Our
we have to be psychologists, we have to be everything.
It's their homes end of the day. There's nothing closer than your home, right? You walk in and that's the most vulnerable you're at.
It's very important also to predict the future value of the property, even if you're not appraisal, but still you need to also give an advice to your potential client how good this investment is.
Personal clients will always like honesty. I've got clients like this before where if I tell them don't buy there, or it's not for you, they appreciate this kind of also, because you're not just selling them. It's as you say, it's a future, it's the next property. So you really have to.
You have to be honest, and I have lost client once. Just saying and being honest, it was heartbreaking. But this is not for you. Sorry, it's not good for you. So
I've lost a deal recently. I said exactly that. The title came back. It was an absolute mess. I said to them, look, I'm going to lose a huge amount of money on this, but don't buy it. Yeah, because I want to build that relationship with you. This business is built on relationships. That's how we're...
And you don't know, it's buying today, your client's buying a property with you, but if they believe that you're also providing a good service, maybe they will use you again and again and again. Exactly.
Yeah, I've got clients that I've been with for 20 years that are now selling for their children.
Oh, nice.
For their children.
The second generation.
Yeah, second generation. So
it's a long customer, journey that you're going to build your black book with, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do we have another question?
Yes, we have a few more. Let me check. So, should buyers focus on properties with good transport links or local amenities?
You know, when someone look always for a property, depending if it's for even for their kids, and they live overseas, first things obviously is about security, transport. We always have a joke, right? If you have the right supermarket and the right coffee shop nearby, I mean, it's not too bad, right? It's Waitrose, Gale Coffee Shop, no brands, cannot mention brand here. But
so I would say
Depending
this
on
is
the
my selling
client,
point, you know,
right?
just for example, when I bring the client, so, and I'm trying to explain the area, so I was like, okay, first things, geographic location. The second thing, high street, post office, bank, a good coffee shop, you know, just like, and a park or
Nice
River
gym.
Thames,
you
nice
cannot
gym.
have the best property and then you're in the middle of nowhere, right? It's very important. The gym, the coffee shop, yeah, exactly.
Again, it's a lifestyle.
It's your lifestyle. Yeah.
But depending on the buyer, right? So again, it's a matter of who is buying for what.
Someone
Totally.
wants to live next to a park because they got a dog. Somebody
Yeah.
else prefer to be in Mayfair because they're
Someone
working
needs
there.
a tube close by because they have to jump in a tube and be at 7 a.m. at work. So yeah, I guess there is not a right advice unless you
Well,
know.
I think you need to look at an area, and once you've pinpointed an area, go and visit it and understand it and walk around it a little bit. And you know, even I say to buyers if they're looking for homes, Airbnb for a week.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Just enjoy the area and work out if you love it, and if you do, then you know it's right. Because the last thing you want is to start negotiating on something, go halfway down the road,
It's,
and then
it's education, because sometimes they say I want to be in Mayfair, but then you try to explain to them, I can give you a park view like in Queensway. It's bigger, it's more beautiful, but they've never been, so you have to show them around.
And how many times have you done a deal where they've said, this is the area I want to live in, that's it, and then you show them something just
That's
over there,
what
and
I
they
want.
go, oh no, I want
Now
that.
I want that, yeah.
Exactly. So it's
I mean,
the time you
every
spend with
area
them
in
as
London
well.
is so unique its own way.
So many different markets.
There is a history behind every corner, and I think as an agent you need to know those little key factors, and it helps, you know.
Yeah, especially something behind
It does
the family
help,
of
yeah.
the potential client, for sure.
Everyone should go on a bus tour.
Double deck.
Double-decker London bus tour.
Yes,
Learn
then
as
you
much
know.
as you can.
Exactly. I mean, that's for foreigners, but then you've got locals downsizing or upgrading, right?
Yeah.
And it's
They'll
always,
know the area then,
Yeah.
and they'll sort of know where they want to be. It's like I said to you earlier, people moving out of London.
Yeah.
When during COVID, I sold for quite a lot of people, and they were like, "We're not English. We don't know where to move to,
Yeah.
but we need to be able to come back into town and
Exactly.
commute. So where can you advise?" So then home counties, you know, that sort of stuff. Then it becomes really interesting.
Great.
When I moved to London, I felt exactly like foreigner, but I was always lucky in picking up the best location, because my first home was in Notting Hill, and I went out. It was still COVID when I moved to London, and I was just by the Westbourne Grove. And then I moved to Chelsea 1 year later, and it turned out that I live in Hollywood Road, which is like the best restaurant and bars area.
As you're looking like a Hollywood star, you know, just you're living in the Hollywood world. I think that is like something like linked. Do we have a third?
Yeah, we have the last questions. So, how can buyers ensure they are making a smart investment in London's real estate market?
Find the best broker.
Like you?
Yeah,
Or like us?
like you.
Or like her?
Okay, let's do bottle, guys.
We can collaborate.
But I think because there is one, that's something we haven't really discussed, is about where in London. I think location is always very important.
Of course.
So as we discussed a bit earlier, it's like there's so many parts of London, it's really dependent on one, as we answered earlier. What is your lifestyle? What is your budget? Question that actually the buyer should answer.
But then,
himself.
as Adam said, that there was a buyer who didn't know London at all, right? So there is a property within, let's say, 6 million outside London, and there is one in central London. So if you are having someone like that, let's say Eric, that doesn't know London area, where would you take them?
Yeah,
I mean, for me,
We've got a £6 million budget.
I have a £6 million pound
Because
budget. Where would you take me?
For me, I've been here 20 years in Chelsea. Chelsea is my area.
Right.
So, of course, I will
We're neighbors, by the way.
I will sell you Chelsea.
Like all of us.
It's perfect for families. For example,
But
if
then-
you
Very
if you
residential.
work somewhere in asset management in city, maybe
you
it
see-
doesn't make sense.
See, this
Because
is again.
London changed so much. For example, a while ago, I would say maybe not, but now I would say, yeah, why not? Battersea, for example, is very nice.
get a lot for your money.
You
In
got a
front of the
beautiful
Battersea Park, yes,
Yeah,
very nice.
Battersea Park is fantastic. It's great if you have kids, if you have a dog. In fact, a lot of celebrity, a lot of wealthy people from that side now moved on the other side.
Because
And if
it's become very busy in here.
you cross the
want
bridge, it's
some
only
peace.
10 minutes, and the price is already cheaper on the other side, right? And now you got the Battersea Power Station, which is cool now.
Yeah.
A lot of shops, it's young,
Yes,
it's a
that's
nice
speaking
place
of
to be.
regeneration.
Yes.
It depends on your lifestyle, doesn't it? You know, if you do have family, you've got to look at schools.
You're more up north, right? You're different.
Yeah, I'm not that far up.
Not
north.
that far. But it's not, you're not Chelsea.
Yeah,
you
no,
will
I'm
be
not.
more.
No, I'm north of the river. But then you've got to look at areas that have got those amenities. I mean, that's what we, you know, you're moving to London for a home, then you've got to look at schools, you've got to look at the what you need, the facilities, access, if you need to get into the city or you need to get into the West End. So then you look at places like St John's Wood or, you know, Marylebone, round the park, you know, great
As much
transport,
as you
know.
started living, you know, just your condition might be different. Today you're a single guy or girl, and another day, you know, just you got the kids,
Yeah.
and after, you know, just you want to be like in a busy area, for example, because I can understand people who like, you know, just like I love this vibe, you know, just for example in Soho, because
us who live
for
here,
us,
take
yes,
it
who
away.
living in the Chelsea area, for example, in Battersea side, and I was like, I can't completely understand because I need a nature, I need a calm, you know.
Because if they come from, let's say they come from America and they live in the middle of nowhere in Texas, it's going to be very different to moving into the city.
That
They
will
might
be too
love
much
that
for
because
them.
they think to themselves, that's the complete opposite from where
Well,
I
then
live.
country home would
so
be
I want
perfect
to
for
be
them.
in the, yeah, or they want to be outside of London. They've got a driver that will bring them into town. You know, it just depends on their
Well, now you say
lifestyle.
American clients, they all watch this Notting Hill movie and so on, so they all want to be in Notting Hill.
Okay, can I get one question from my side? I think that we have something that the rest of this. So, how had the luxury property market in London evolved over the past few years?
Well, I feel that there's a lot more people have shine a light on it in the last 5 years, I guess, because of shows like Selling Sunsets and all these sort of shows now that there's a spotlight on it. So everybody in the world can now see the market, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you can see what's available. You can look at, I've had clients that I've put stuff up and they've contacted me and said, look, can I come and have a look at this? You know, so it is more, it's a lot more access, whereas years ago you'd have to come here, you'd have to meet a broker, they'd have to be able to, you know, but I think that there's a lot more deals being done off market now. So again,
That's how we are.
that sort of counteracts that, right?
I think 80% of all deals in central London are technically off market. A lot are off market.
Yeah.
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 It's also confidentiality, isn't it? You want to buy something that not there. It's so exposed on the market.
Basically, a client who is very busy, who is coming over here for 2 or 3 days, doesn't have time, will retain you, and for the next few weeks, few months, you will basically act on his behalf and find him all the best property, and then he will fly over here and he will be ready to go and see it. That's what people want now.
But we do offer those services as well, right? So mainly our
Bespoke
buyers
service,
are from buying side as well. We know our buyers, you know, we are friends with them. We know
Socialise
them
with
closer, socialize them. We know their family and friends, and then that way he can trust me or she can trust me to be their eyes, their decision maker, and then they will do the final decision on themselves. But that's
I mean, the
how
other
it's
trend,
going.
obviously, now you just don't sell London, you're selling the world. You're international advisor. Because your clients live in Dubai, you own a property on the French Riviera, is looking also to actually buy in London, or buy a pad in New York. So you need to be able to, in fact, have the network, but also understand all these different markets.
But it's also very good how it's exposed, right? So before, back in the days, one agent did one area, he was not allowed to touch any other area, and now I can refer a client to across the world, get my fee, and do the deal, and then still keep my client within me. So I think there's a good sides of it that virtual world is helping us a little bit more.
And nowadays we're also
Yes.
using artificial intelligence, which just also helps us a lot.
We want to keep it natural.
Yeah, and I think that I've been very lucky that I've seen the whole of across London, and I've worked in
Growth,
very different
we've seen a lot.
markets.
Yeah.
So if a client comes to me and says, the $1 million question, where's the best plane to buy in London? There isn't an answer to that.
That's
and
knowledge.
It's for you. But I
cannot.
can reach now to the people that I've worked with through the last 25 years. So I have a network of brokers and solicitors and mortgage people that I can pick up. It's your network. Your network's your net worth.
Go get it and go meet people.
buy it.
Age-old saying. You
have to live it. You have to have done it.
And there's a trust factor as well, right? Obviously, you build this
Look,
specific
we're not selling
relationship.
property. We're selling lifestyle.
Yes, it's same with interior decoration, furniture design. We are in one of the furniture stores now. Let's
Luxury
say.
lifestyle, wherever you are.
Yes.
Just follow us. Okay,
Give
so
us a call.
can we move to another question? Yes. So, what do you think, guys? How important is location versus property type when we're choosing where to invest?
In different areas, you get different types of property. So it's a difficult one to answer because, you might say, oh, I want a beautiful Victorian house in Canary Wharf. Well, that's not going to happen.
Does not exist.
No, it doesn't.
We can
Well,
build
actually,
one. It does.
It does exist, but very, very small. But so it's a very difficult question to answer. But I think you've got to start with location. Location is the most important. But as we've said at the beginning of this, London has so many different markets with so many different types of properties that's almost a really impossible question to answer.
I mean, like,
because they're so
Individual.
French people, they like to live in South Kensington.
Yes. I have
trying
loads
to
of
test
French
us.
neighbours.
I would say like South Kensington is very French. People like to go there because the French
Very
listen.
French and Italian.
schools
Now,
and,
if you're in tech and young, people like to be in Shoreditch,
Old
right?
Street,
But Shoreditch
yeah.
is not for me, so it's really like about what you like.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
Lots of artsy people in Camden, and there's so many beautiful, and all areas
Yeah,
are
Camden.
beautiful own way,
Sometimes you go another part of town, you feel you're traveling overseas. You're not in London.
But it must be, for someone coming here to look to buy either as a home or as an investment that have never been to London before, it must be really daunting because obviously they're led by the people that they know. If they didn't know you and they just arrived,
So how
where
would
do I
you not
start?
confuse your buyer, let's say, who's literally has no clue of areas? And there's a lot of agents, that do show everything that is out there, right? And they confuse the buyer. So how would you approach an individual
But I think
buyer like that
it's
that
not
is
the-
a little bit unaware of?
But
I would have a conversation with
it's
them
not
from-
just the agents who is confusing. I would not even say, I don't think we are confusing the buyer. Who confuses the buyer usually? It's a family and relatives.
The mother and father-in-laws.
It's a checklist, right? As we said earlier. Do you want new homes or do you want old bricks, red bricks?
I
or-
literally have a document that I will go through with my buyers and I will tick off the types of property, the areas, the
You have to
reasons.
narrow
I will
down
have a
everything.
multiple questionnaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once
No,
they
it's very
pass the
important.
multiple questionnaire, we can talk to them. It's a good
Okay,
idea.
so Oksana, I can share with you like the last question. I think that's going to be this one.
So what trends are shaping the way people buy and sell property in London?
Social media, hugely. I think that's probably the biggest trend that's changed in the last 5 years, because now everything is so accessible, which is great because it allows you to present things that perhaps in a way that you want it to be seen.
Platforms.
Yeah, and also from years ago, you take people on a viewing, it could be chucking it down the rain, it could be a horrible dark
Yes,
day.
I remember those
The property
days.
looks different to how it does when it's a beautiful sunny day, and you can present it, but also you can spend a bit of time talking about the area, and this is something that I think that agents are really starting to cotton on about now. It's not just the property, it's the area, it's what you have around you, the reason that you're buying in that area, etc., the demographics of the people that are in that area, because that's also important. So I think social media will be the biggest thing.
And even the weather in this
I would
beautiful
say,
country.
do you-
The right, this is my advice, just for all the agents, just we should choose the right part of the day, you know, just because it's completely different white. It's completely different.
I usually look at the weather forecast.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to sell a penthouse with a blue sky than on a rainy day.
And for the potential client as well, please, guys, you know, just try to. I mean, that's when you're planning to go to the viewings, you know, just like I would say have in a day, like in the morning and the daytime. So the best things, because in the evening completely different. You can't understand anything, you know. Just this is like very precious.
On the flip side of that, if you love it when it's dark and raining. Oh my God, you're going to be blown away by it when it's lovely and sunny, right?
Sometimes, this is
the worst it's going to look.
Yes.
This is the best it's going to look.
I would say go at the worst and then see at the best. And then
No,
that
because
way.
you know, natural light, even on a bad day, and you say, my God, so much natural light. So it means that, imagine on a
what
nice
it's like when
day.
it's sunny, yeah.
And then if there is a fireplace, it's such a cozy house, and you imagine, okay, it's so rainy outside and it's so nice here.
Well, that's why this time of year is nice to do viewings, because everyone's got their tree up.
Yes.
It all looks very festive
Crispy
and like,
and
you know,
warm.
quite cozy, and you can really get into. February's the worst. February's when it's just dark and. Ugh.
I know.
Would you like
we
some
should
champagne?
celebrate.
Yeah,
I think
let's celebrate.
we
Come
should
on.
Celebrate.
Thank you so much. It's been so helpful.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, professional.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for coming. Yes, and let's make a cheers for upcoming Christmas and Happy New Year, and for the new beginners, and for the good deals, for the good clients,
Real deals.
the good girls,
Good
boys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Wishing you joy, peace, and happiness to this festive season.
Merry Christmas, our dear subscribers, and Happy New Year.
We wish all your deals come true.
And I'm sure this quick lightening around will be very useful for anyone who's interested in London real estate market as we move into 2025.
You will get expert advice, personal touch, and best conditions to make sure that you are happy with the results. So subscribe us, follow us, and most important, work with us.
And we didn't create this YouTube channel just for fun. We're here to make a statement.
At Devita Real Estate, when you work with us on any luxury property in London.
And all our contact details
are here.
Devita Real Estate, where luxury finds its home. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.